So we're going to take a look at a few things surrounding the box model. And it's things that a lot of my students are really struggling with. Not just the model itself, but how do we code it? So we have here an example of an image, which I have given the ID of kite. So I'm styling it here, so it doesn't apply to all images. Now it could inherit image settings and then add to it. That would be completely allowable. But it gives you sort of an idea about how the box model is set up. So we have this image in here, which demonstrates a couple of things. It demonstrates that this is the content, and the content is surrounded by padding, a border, and a margin. Those could be set to 0. They may or may not exist, but that's the possibilities. And if they exist, they have to be in that order. It also explains why I majored in programming instead of art. Okay, so we have our padding here. And I want to talk about what that's doing for us. It does a couple things. So if we do a padding, let's talk about, first of all, how do we set this up? There are two ways we could write what's on here. We could do padding, and we could do it as 20px, 30px. This is completely valid. This is completely acceptable. It describes this. When we're working with padding or margins, and you're doing them one piece at a time, you start, it's clockwise. So if we were to list 4, we'd do 1, 2, 3, 4. We could list only 1. For margins, my margins are all 20. So I could do margins simply as margin 20px. That applies to all 4 sides. Here, if I wanted to change it so it wasn't exactly the same on each side, let's just make it, actually let's do that as 30, and we're going to say this one was 40, and we're going to say that this one is 10. So if you want to make them all different, you can do that too. So you can have 1 where they're all the same. You can have 2. You can have 3, that's not as common. You can have 4 and specify each one. So I could do this, and it always starts at the top and goes clockwise. The order matters. 20px, 30px, 10px, oops, I skipped one, 40px, 40px, 10px. Completely allowable. Sometimes you'll only want to define 1. We could do padding left 10px and leave the others undefined. Completely acceptable. Then whatever your defaults are for the page or whatever it's inheriting will win. So they go into a clockwise manner. Now let's talk a little bit more. I'm going to erase this code and talk about why the box method matters, and as well as size and border box, which we're going to be getting to, because that's an important concept with this whole box model. So what typically happens when we're working with content, it's the content that sets the size. And that can make us have to do more math than we might actually enjoy. Because often, I'm going to have something that has padding, that has a border. So I might want to, I'm just going to simplify this with 2 X-based content. So we're going to say, here's my content. It's an X. Here's my content. And we're going to make it smaller. And an X when we're doing wireframing represents an image. So normally, and I'm going to use the same colors here to show you. So the content here is green. Then we would have our padding, which I'm going to represent as orange, that surrounds it. And then if we had a border, and I'm going to pretend to in both of these cases, so padding, and we'll do a pink border. Okay, so this is how we're going to represent the difference between our standard look and using box sizing. Border box. This makes things easier for us because when we're developing, what we typically want to do is we're going to start with an image and we're going to set the width of the image 100. Let's say padding 10 pixels on each side. And we multiply it by 2 because it's on each side, so that adds 20 pixels to it. Let's say we have a border that's 3 pixels. That equals 6. So our 100 pixel image takes up 126 pixels of space. Total width. Height would be similar. If we change the box sizing to border box, we make the size of the border, the circumference there, that becomes the 100 pixels, and everything else is subtracted to go in from there. So it can make your coding a little bit easier if you set it to border box so that the border and the padding are included in the total measurement and everything shrinks down from between it. So that's how we're set up with the box model, how we can change our box sizing, and how you code padding and margins in a clockwise manner.